I am Claudia Mackenzie. I am the proprietor of Park's Edge Bar and Kitchen. We are a modern British kitchen restaurant in Herne Hill, just a stone's throw away from Brixton, southwest London. And I was introduced to Catherine McManus, our marketing consultant, at the height of COVID, actually, when we were coming out of a lockdown 4 years ago. So we, as a small business, we've been working with Catherine to define our messaging, to really kind of reach all of our different target audiences in a very succinct and powerful way. So when we met Catherine, we were approximately just under 2 years old, actually, and as a business, and we were really having a problem. I think in the local area, we were having a problem with just establishing our reputation. And to be frank with you, we probably didn't hold the mirror up enough. So we thought we knew what we were, but we didn't understand what people thought who we were. And Catherine helped us to really kind of define who we were in very succinct messaging, and to really kind of build on our attributes so that we could push that out to our target audiences locally and otherwise. And she was fundamental in helping us to not just wait for the door to open, but actually take Park's Edge out to people. So whether that was through officially our newsletters, we started doing that a lot more. We weren't doing that as often as we should have been doing, but building a real kind of newsletter community, and also building relationships with local businesses who'd never heard of us, and really selling and pitching our services outside of just the restaurant. We put a brief out to probably half a dozen marketing consultants, and it was the first time that we'd ever done so. So we spent a lot of time wanting to make sure that the briefs that we got back, first of all, showed an interest in our sector and in who we are, and asked the right questions, and hopefully responded in a way that kind of ignited our imagination and passion for our business. And I think Catherine stood head and shoulders above pretty much all the briefs that we received, purely because actually she demonstrated a real passion for food. I think she's a natural foodie, and that came across. She may not have, experienced Caribbean cuisine, but she has a very naturally curious mind. She asked all the right questions. She showed a deep knowledge of a sector that I don't think she had much knowledge in, but she'd obviously, for our brief, had done some very deep research. And so she was able to speak to us very authoritatively, and also blind us with science, give us information that we hadn't heard before from a marketing perspective. So it was very compelling. She was very compelling. I think her absolute enthusiasm. I remember that first Zoom that we had, and she was popping off the screen, and it actually just gave us a lift. In comparison to others, I think we just didn't feel like our imagination and our enthusiasm was really sparked. So yeah, absolutely compelling, head and shoulders above everybody else. I think there was one other person who perhaps did demonstrate knowledge of the hospitality industry and knowledge of London restaurants, but just didn't have a passion for us and wasn't excited, really. It just didn't come across that she was excited. Catherine was, so that's why we went ahead and engaged her. My experience of using Catherine has been brilliant. Honestly, she is the person who, almost like a secret weapon, the person who you really want by your side. Through some quite difficult circumstances, actually, as a restaurant, trying to make our presence known and felt in what is a crowded marketplace, a very, very competitive marketplace. She has a positive can-do attitude, and that has been instrumental in just helping us kind of forge forward many times through quite difficult and dark periods of the restaurant, our restaurant growth. So it's been brilliant. We feel like we've formed a very trusted relationship with her as a consultant. She's not afraid to pull punches. She's not afraid to tell us how it really is. And it kind of reflects the relationship, the strength of relationship that you have when you have a trusted partner by your side, who is a specialist. Catherine has really impacted our business in a very positive way. I think she has brought a lot more discipline to the way that we do our marketing. Rather than us being quite, I'll be honest, we've had a very scattergun approach at times, and oftentimes been quite reactive as opposed to proactive. But she's provided us with tools such as a marketing calendar, looking at our social media calendar. What are the public days, national days that we perhaps as a restaurant can piggyback on to make some news for ourselves, etc. So I think she's brought a lot of discipline to the business, actually, and gone perhaps far beyond just pure marketing. Really helped us to finesse things like, our menu, understanding consumers. How do we ask the question about what consumers might want to, or what our diners might want to see on our menu? That can be done in a very thoughtful way, for instance. So Catherine has allowed us to really kind of open ourselves to feeling and being thoughtful about what our diners would want, and offering evidence, actually, as opposed to us being very scattergun and guessing what diners would want. We have definitely seen a huge impact in the awareness of our business, which actually has helped with our bottom line. I think that it has been one of the most powerful things. It's been a really, really rocky road to get to this point through, we launched at the beginning of Brexit and didn't understand the impact that would have financially on the business. And then 18 months later, we were looking at a worldwide pandemic and didn't understand the impact of that. So things have been quite financially precarious. But the fact that Catherine has come on board and helped us to open our kind of world, really, and open our audience, to help us grow our audience, means that we have seen much more financial reward than we would have done perhaps if people didn't know that we were there. Probably my favorite thing is how forthright she is. She's a no-nonsense lady, and she has really told us how it is at times. I think there are times when, as a business owner, and representing your own brand, your own baby, you can be very precious about things, and you can't see the wood for the trees. And it's quite easy to take things very personally. So, we've had a poor Tuesday or a poor Thursday, and all of a sudden the world seems like it's crashing down. And, it takes a very strong person who, is your supplier, essentially, to say, hold up, it's not what you think it is. It could be this. Have you thought of that? These are the things that we can perhaps do to mitigate those circumstances. Stop personalizing it, Claudia. We've had many of those conversations, and I think that's one of the things that I really value about her, that, she's very forthright, and she can be diplomatic, but she's also very straightforward and straight talking. And I think as a business owner, you need that. When Catherine introduced herself to us, she did mention, kind of in passing, that she had worked as a general manager and actually operationally in the hospitality industry, abroad as well as here. And I think the surprising thing about that is that during our 4 years of working together, she's been able to harness those skills to help me in the business. So it may be things such as, we're having an issue with recruitment, for instance. We went through that a couple of years ago, just after Brexit, and during COVID, there was a huge chef shortage across London. And, Catherine being able to actually help us finesse our recruitment ads, and what were the attributes that would make us attractive to the recruitment market, etc. So things like that, understanding the mindset sometimes of our chefs, and Catherine, having worked with them, coaching me as to how to perhaps get the best out of them on things like menu management and menu engineering. She's been brilliant at that. That's been very surprising that she's great at pure marketing, but actually has used her operational experience in the hospitality industry to help us to finesse things across our operations, not just marketing. Working with Catherine has exceeded my expectations in a few areas. So I would say that one of the things that she's really helped us to do is to reach out to our local community, to reach out to organizations. She really definitely has her ear on the ground, and has been able to feed back information. She hears about things like grants, and she hears about partnership opportunities between private and public sector, etc. So she's been able to help us engineer and open those partnerships across our community and across different target audiences. And that has really kind of helped us to reach people that we probably wouldn't have. I think perhaps, again, working in the restaurant, being a restaurant owner, sometimes you just have a very kind of tunnel vision approach to being an operator, and she certainly has helped us just kind of open ourselves up to forging relationships within the community that we probably would never have had we not worked with her. So I would tell anybody who's considering using Catherine's services to give it a real chance to work. She is a partner, and she will be your trusted partner. So I know a lot of times, again, it's very easy for operators, for business owners to say, well, I have only a finite amount of money. I only have this budget. These are the results that I want within 3 months, 6 months. Sometimes we limit the person that we are actually engaging to help us in our own business because of monetary reasons. But I would say it's about very much trying to establish a relationship with Catherine where you get to a point 6 months in where you really do feel like she is your trusted partner. I think that's really important, and I have no doubt in recommending her, because that's the sort of person I believe that she is, with tremendous experience, a huge amount of integrity, a passion for her clients, and she wants clients to succeed.